Hey, greetings everyone, and thank you for joining us on HeSpoke Fashion. I am your host, Dayline Thomas, and this evening I would like to take a moment to address an issue that has garnered significant attention within the Black community over the past few months, particularly since the beginning of this year. Now, regardless of whether one perceives it as a conspiracy, many have interpreted, get this, the recent civil and criminal cases as direct assaults on successful Black men. Now, the theories surrounding these alleged conspiracies vary, encompassing claims of corporate retaliation from companies like Diageo, and then grievances from former employees or the motivations of scorned ex-girlfriends. Now, many view these legal actions as efforts by aggressive attorneys such as Tony Busby and a newcomer by the name of Tyrone Blackburn that are used to extract wealth from these individuals and also, guys, to discourage other Black men, in my humble opinion, from aspiring to similar levels of success. Now, even as recent as yesterday, Reverend Al Sharpton, he spoke to TMZ, and he told TMZ, for as long as this country has been around, wealthy, prominent Black folks have been targeted. And he says because the feds see them as easy targets. Now, this scheme is insidious, and there's one attorney who articulates what I have struggled to express. And the attorney is Attorney Andrea Oguntula. I hope I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, please forgive me. Now, she effectively conveys the profound and lasting impact that this mere act of even being sued, even without proceeding to trial, can have on an individual. All right? So let's watch.
Let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about a verdict. It's about legacy. This case has completely transformed the way the public views Sean Combs. Once a billionaire brand, he's now being spoken of in the same breath as Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly. If he's convicted, it would mark one of the most traumatic downfalls in entertainment history. Let's zoom.
All right, guys, now listen. Now, you've heard from Attorney Oguntula. And if you wish, guys, to view her entire podcast, this wonderful podcast, I will include the link beneath this video, all right? Now, her assertion regarding Diddy is particularly striking. She said his legacy will undoubtedly be altered from this point onward for the remainder of his life. Now, guys, this powerful statement prompted me to delve deeper into the significant impact that even a single charge can have on the lives of Black men. Now, it compelled me to reflect on my own legacy and consider how I might offer insight and guidance to other Black men. Therefore, this evening, I would like to discuss this topic titled Lessons Every Black Man Can Learn from the Attacks on Successful Black Men. Now, AB, before we proceed, let's share our disclaimer, if you will. All right. Now, guys, how did we arrive at this point? So let's start by examining the situation through the lens of the commonalities shared by these individuals. Now, it is safe to assert that the four individuals I have selected for this discussion share several commonalities. Primarily, they are all high-profile Black men in the realms of entertainment and media. Now, each of these prominent African-American figures has attained significant mainstream success and influence across various sectors within the entertainment industry. Now, for instance, Diddy, who is a music mogul, producer, an entrepreneur. And then there's Tyler Perry, a filmmaker, studio owner, playwright, and actor. Then there's Shannon Sharpe, who is our former NFL star turned media personality. And then lastly, there is Smokey Robinson, the legendary Motown singer, songwriter, and producer. Now, secondly, these black men are self-made public figures. Each of them built their success largely outside traditional Hollywood or media structures. Remember, Perry built his own studio, Tyler Perry Studios, which is one of the largest in the United States. Diddy launched Bad Boy Records and multiple successful brands. Now, Sharpe reinvented himself post-football, which is very difficult to do, as a dominant voice in sports media. And Robinson helped shape the Motown sound from within, writing and producing for others. Thirdly, each of these individuals has profoundly influenced black culture, wouldn't you agree? And in some instances, American culture as a whole. And I would simply put them on this Mount Rushmore. Smokey Robinson is synonymous with Motown music, while Diddy has made substantial contributions to hip-hop culture and entrepreneurship. Now, Tyler Perry has transformed faith-based black cinema and theater. And Shannon Sharpe is known for his colorful and candid commentary, particularly regarding race and even sports. Now, fourthly, each of these individuals has achieved considerable success in various business ventures. Diddy has made notable strides, of course, in fashion, in liquor, and media. And Tyler Perry has excelled in film production and content creation. Shannon Sharpe has ventured into podcasting and secured brand partnerships, while Smokey Robinson has benefited from licensing agreements and royalties. Now, finally, each of these individuals has experienced instances where public opinion has been divided, often due to personal choices, political actions, statements, or controversies that do not involve criminal behavior. Now, this aspect is crucial as it highlights the public's perception of these figures. More importantly, it prompts us to consider how we relate to them. Now, how do others perceive you? That is my question to you, because this perception significantly influences, now hear me close, guys, the beliefs of some conspiracists regarding the motivations behind these cases. So the pertinent question is whether there is an underlying motive behind these attacks on successful black men. Has it ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought about that? Now, for the sake of our discussion, here is a fictional scenario that explores the idea of a coordinated effort or conspiracy to undermine high-profile black men through allegations, particularly those who have reached significant economic and cultural power. I want you to understand that. Now, guys, again, this is purely hypothetical and not a claim that I'm making. But in this scenario, a clandestine network of powerful elites compromising prominent individuals from the media, political, and corporate spheres grows increasingly apprehensive about the wealth, the autonomy, and influence that certain men have accrued. Now, these men control major platforms like Tyler Perry Studios or Diddy's Revolt Network. Now, get this, guys, this is still hypothetical. Now, they also shape public opinion like Shannon Sharpe's sports commentary and social critique on his podcast, Club Shay Shay. Furthermore, they influence cultural narratives as exemplified by the enduring legacy of the legendary Smokey Robinson. Now, this information provides a clear understanding of the dynamics at play. Now, guys, in the next phase of our scenario, hypothetically, it is essential that we address the emerging threat. You see, this group perceives these individuals not merely as influential entertainers, but also as potential disruptors. Now, the reason for this perspective lies in their ownership of content and distribution channels. And they candidly address issues related to race, class, and justice, while also lending their support to political and social movements that challenge the establishment. While Diddy was in the hood, no problem. When he became political and started to speak out about social justice and the plight against black men, then here comes the allegations and the charges. I'm not saying whether or not he's guilty or not. I'm just quoting facts. Now that we have our plot, our threat, we now need our strategy. We have our plot, we have our threat. Now here comes our strategy. That is how we are going to plan out, right? Our strategy. The elite group then refrains in this hypothetical scenario from employing physical threats. Rather, they resort to media manipulation. Now, this includes the dissemination of unverified leaks, and then vague allegations, and then reliance on anonymous sources, all of which serve to incite public suspicion. And they subsequently exert legal pressure, wherein insiders with resources and connections to lawyers and public relations firms facilitate the encouragement of, get this, a civil suit, not criminal, civil. And then they resort to character assassination, drawing upon past relationships and business dealings, which are subsequently subjected to scrutiny in the court of public opinion before the facts come to light. Now, the final point is critical, as it highlights our role in the amplification of narratives through, get this, social media bots. Now, guys, I'm not sure if you know about these bots, but these bots contribute to the portrayal of certain individuals as dangerous, predatory, or corrupt. And then we become complicit when we fail to question the authenticity of the content presented on social media. Now, the individuals involved in these cases, they begin to notice, guys, a discernible pattern. They observe a sequence wherein they face unexpected audits or regulatory inquiries, often accompanied by the resurgence of former associates who bring forth lawsuits or allegations. Endorsement deals often discreetly are abandoned. And then sponsorships, while media outlets publish sensational headlines that lack substantive details. Now, consequently, brand value diminishes, ownership stakes become precarious, and individuals are compelled to either settle or retreat from the public sphere. Now, this creates opportunities for opportunists to acquire their assets at discounted rates. Now, guys, if this scenario sounds familiar, it is because it reflects the experiences of influential black leaders, ranging from Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, to Michael Jackson and Bill Cosby, who face accusations, investigations, or public downfall during the zenith, the height of their cultural or financial prominence. Now, if this scenario occurred in the past, could it be indicative of similar events taking place now? Now, regardless of one's belief in this situation, the core issue lies elsewhere. Now, personally, I cannot ascertain the guilt or the innocence of the individuals involved, nor is it my place to do so. However, I believe that there are valuable lessons to be gleaned from such circumstances. What insights, if any, can we derive? Now, guys, this scenario that I just presented to you, whether viewed as a cautionary tale, a metaphor, or reflection of deeper truths, offers several significant lessons for black men, particularly those navigating influence, success, and visibility. Now, for the sake of brevity and considering that this is only volume number 1, I will outline only four key lessons. And I I hope that you would just share this video right now with someone, some young man that's on the precipice of being important, of rising to the level of success. I will give you a moment to please share this video, share and like this video, because this is very important. Now, the first lesson I believe every black man can glean from the challenges faced by successful black men is that power without protection is a setup. Power without protection is a setup. Now, we often operate under the assumption that accumulating wealth alone serves as a safeguard against those with ill intentions. Oh, no, oh, no. If you believe that, hear me close, guys. The key lesson here is the importance of not only building wealth, but also establishing protective systems. You know, success can, in fact, make one a target. Wouldn't you agree? That is why it is essential to implement legal, financial, and public relations safeguards well in advance of any potential issues. Now, for those who may not yet require public relations support, consider whether there is someone, either in your circle or out of your circle, who can advocate on your behalf. In other words, put your money where the wisdom is. Grab some trusty legal eagles, some crisis handlers, some savvy strategists who aren't just yes men. That's a very good lesson for point number one. Now, the second lesson is your image. Your image is your armor. Now, the key lesson here is to safeguard your character as diligently as you would your money. Now, allegations, whether substantiated, as I've said before, or unfounded, can really tarnish a reputation more swiftly than any market downturn. Consequently, we must exercise caution in our associations and be mindful of how we treat others. And guys, please hear me close, how we especially treat women. Now, I urge everyone, particularly black men, to pay close attention to the behaviors we normalize, even in private settings. Now, guys, do you think Diddy reflects on the aspects he normalized and wishes he could reconsider them? I think he would. I think he does. Now, the next lesson I would like to share, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, AB, I believe this is our third lesson. All right, thank you. Is that ownership alone is insufficient. Ownership alone is insufficient. Now, what do I mean by that? Stewardship is essential. Now, it is certain that success can foster a sense of entitlement, and fame may lead to recklessness. Now, such attitudes can open the door to sabotage. Therefore, it is crucial for individuals, particularly black men, to practice, get this, guys, self-control. Self-control. It is imperative to counteract the negative behaviors that we have heard some successful individuals be accused of, such as weaponizing their power in questionable sexual, financial, and emotional context. Now, by doing so, one effectively hands their enemies the narrative that they wish to follow. And guys, get this, our fourth and final lesson in volume 1 of this 2-part series directly references the segment we viewed at the beginning of this video from attorney Andrea. Now, as a reminder, AB, could you please play that particular video?
Let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about a verdict. It's about legacy. This case has completely transformed the way the public views Sean Combs. Once a billionaire brand, he's now being spoken of in the same breath as Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly. If he's convicted, it would mark one of the most traumatic downfalls in entertainment history. Let's zoom.
All right, guys, watch that video again. I don't know if you caught it, but attorney Andrea pointed out from the very beginning a lesson that we all need to consider, and that is what we should place our legacy over. Legacy over lifestyle. Now, what is the underlining lesson here? The underlining lesson is simply this, that it is essential that what you build outlives you. Did you get that? What you build should outlive and outlast you. Many black men achieve success, yet few manage to pass down their businesses or platforms intact, often due to the controversies that surround them. Allow me to pose a question. Can you name any black-owned businesses, aside from the black church, which many argue operates somewhat like a business, that have been successfully transferred without controversy? Now, those who have been granted opportunities now face the previously mentioned challenges. Therefore, guys, it is imperative to shift our focus from mere flash to establishing a solid foundation. Guys, focus on building sustainable businesses, others, and instead of thinking for the moment, think generationally. Now, why is this scenario, the one that I spoke about, so significant? Why is it important for us to examine the current experiences of successful black men in order to glean insights that may help us avoid similar challenges? Why? Because there just may be a deeper reason as to why these things are happening to black men. Now, to illustrate this importance, allow me to share a story that I believe will provide clarity. Storytime music, AB. Now, guys, on a southern plantation in the 1800s, there was a man named Josiah. He was tall, skilled, and carried himself with a quiet dignity. Though enslaved, he had learned to read in secret, taught others, and dreamed of freedom. He was known among the other men as the one who thinks like a free man. And one night, Josiah attempted to escape. He made it far, nearly across the state line, before he was caught by patrols and dragged back in chains. Wow. You know they used to do that to our people. The next day, the master did not punish Josiah in private. He brought the entire plantation to the fields and made everyone watch as Josiah was whipped mercifully, stripped not just of his skin, but of his pride. They were forced to look him in the eyes as the whip cracked, and the master yelled, "This is what happens when one of you thinks he's more than what I say you are." Josiah didn't scream. He didn't beg, but his silence was drowned by fear. Now, for years after, the men whispered his name with caution, not because he failed, but because his punishment taught them what success outside the system would cost. Guys, listen. The message from this story for black men is simply this. Today's public flogging isn't on a whipping post. It's on social media. It's in news outlets and in courtrooms. Now, the system doesn't always punish a black man for doing wrong. You know what it does instead? It punishes him publicly to warn the others. Don't get too powerful. Don't own too much. Don't influence too many. So guys, when you see a Josiah fall, don't just say he messed up. Instead, say, what can I learn? Say, how do I stay sharp? Say, how do I build in a way that can't break me? But you know what? The master's goal is never just to punish one. No. That's too easy. The goal here, guys, is to paralyze the rest. Did you get that? Listen, family, we have now come to the end of the show, and I appreciate you for continuing to rock with HeSpoke Fashion. I really enjoyed you all, and I hope that you enjoy this show as well. Now, if you like this content, please do me a favor, hit the like button and share this with someone else, especially a young black man or an older one that's still grinding on their way to success. We want to get this information to them before they get there. Now, let me know what you think about this topic in the comments, all right? All right, guys, this is all I have for you tonight. Have a good night, good fashion, and remember, HeSpoke Fashion to you. See you next time. Hope you'll be back again.